Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle from Elevated Planet, and we want to welcome you to today's show. And John is going to tell us a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Jolé. Yes, we've got another stunning show for you today. We're going to go a little bit off-world, a perspective, an off-planet perspective of what is happening with humanity at the moment. And also, we're going to explore a little bit about the dark forces. So again, if I just go through the invitation, the questions that we are posing, how a council of light beings are supporting humanity is one of them. Who are the dark forces trying to maintain control over our dimension? How is humanity being supported to help us step back into our power? Who is Drunvalo? I always struggle with this. Melchizedek. That's it, Melchizedek. Is not an easy one. And what is the Serpent of Light? Sheila Seppi's walking journey from Arcturian to human, ley lines, vortices, and sacred sights, impact on our collective consciousness. And then we've got, in this game of life, it is time to remember who we really are. And as the lotus flower grows from the mud, a new earth is arising from the density. Then we've got the power of the word. We're going to focus a little bit around that. And then we will see where it takes us all on this exciting journey. So, Jolé, you okay with me hitting the first little section here?
Absolutely. Let's go forward.
Over the years, I went through a trial and error process to find out who the right people were that I could trust sharing this part of myself with. As more synchronicities led me to more secure allies, I started getting certain clues in my dreams and during visionary experiences. There was one particular message that I kept hearing over and over. The name was Drunvalo Melchizedek. I actually knew his daughter, Asia. One night during a gathering at a friend's house, she asked me if I could drive her home to drop her dog off. While driving back, I realized that it might be the only opportunity we would have to speak in private, so I started to confide in her. Aja, I need to talk to your dad. It's extremely important, and I'm pretty sure he's the only person that can actually help me. At the time, I didn't really know much about his work. I had stumbled upon his work in passing many years before my experience and saw some videos about him working with the tribes down in South America, but I didn't really explore or know the extent of his work. I had no clue that he wrote The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Aja was assuming that I had a New Age celebrity crush on her dad, which she later admitted was a challenge in many of her relationships, and that I was just trying to get a hold of him through her. She candidly deflected, saying, "So he is just kind of, traveling and teaching. Can I take a message?" So I paused to consider that I might not get a chance to talk to him, so I started to tell her about what happened. At the end of the story, she says, "Oh, you're a walk-in, just like my dad. He had a near-death experience, and when he went on the other side, he spoke with a council of light beings. The council's message was that Earth had become compromised by dark forces trying to seize control of our dimension that had bent all the planetary laws in place to the point of nearly breaking them. The council can't directly intervene, but in special cases certain souls volunteer to incarnate or lattice, connect and integrate with existing vessels to carry out certain rescue missions."
So just to give you a little bit of the background on this, this is actually coming from Hawkins' Cosmology of the Soul by Sheila Seppi, which I interviewed Sheila probably at least a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer. And it was a fascinating story. I would recommend this book to anybody. It really opens your eyes to what this journey through life is all about, what the nature of consciousness is all about. And what Sheila did is that she wrote up her own experience, because that's what a walk-in is when it's a soul exchange. Sheila had been very, very ill, and things were way off course for her, and she wanted to exit And there's a soul agreement that can happen where she exchanges with, in this case, the new Sheila who came in from off-world to take her place. And she's been there ever since. And it's been a remarkable story for her, because all the terrible illnesses she was struggling with at the time, she was able to shed those. She was able to change her life completely. But at the same time, at the outset, she was very, very confused because she didn't know she was a walk-in. She had no idea. But as the years unfolded, she built allies around her who could really help her to understand what had really gone on. And through that network, she was then able to work things out. And the whole story is there. It really is good. So that one is definitely something that I would recommend people to check it out. Walk-ins, Cosmology of the Soul. It answers many questions and also fills us with a lot of hope and takes us back into our power as well, in the way that she pulls this all together. And she's used a bunch of people, I don't know what it was, 25 people maybe, who have similar experiences to her own, who tell their own story as well. So you get all these alternative versions of what it is to be a walk-in. And the thing that really triggered me on this first bit, so this first, and Endon Clark is the one who actually put in a chapter into the book. And the bit that really fascinated me here is that Yendon was talking about the fact he'd had this experience where this spaceship, he'd seen this spaceship, he kind of, no fear at all. He just connected with it. He connected with it, and then the whole thing just sort of like went from there. But he became a walk-in, or he was a walk-in. He didn't, no idea until that part of the conversation we've just heard. But what was really interesting to me is this idea of a council of light beings. So this comes back to Drunvalo and the council of light beings, that when he had his walk-in experience, he said the earth had been compromised by dark forces trying to seize control of our dimension, that had bent all the planetary laws to the point of nearly breaking them. The Council of Light couldn't intervene directly, but they could indirectly through this soul exchange, the walk-ins, that can help us to elevate consciousness. So this is, as you will hear in this next little section, this is not new, but it is quite fantastical, because clearly we, again, like with many things, we don't get taught this kind of stuff in school, right? And we don't get taught this stuff in life. It's the sort of stuff we uncover as we work our way through things. But anyway, that's kind of the thing I wanted to draw to your attention here. And also, it's how this all adds together, because we've also featured within the show on a few occasions the Z's. And the Z's, which is a galactic collective of 88 beings who they channel through Lee Harris of LeeHarrisEnergy.com, in case you want to check it out. But they've told us before that mankind has been enslaved for thousands of years. Kind of fits in with what we're talking about here. R.J. Spinner, we had him on the show just a few weeks ago. He was telling us that higher dimensional beings masquerading as humans are out here, and they're the ones pulling the strings. They're the ones behind the scenes that are really creating the density. Again, it really adds into this. And then the final person I would reference would be Aveen Murray, who is a shamanic multimodal healer that also we have close links with here at Elevated Planet. And in fact, I'm taking one of her courses at the moment. We do the final one on Wednesday. So thank you, Aveen. The course is really brilliant. But she was talking, when I did my first interview with her, about the revelation of the method, which is where these Lutherian globalists, they kind of put things into shows, into movies, into books, which kind of mock the population. And they believe that if the population of Earth is too stupid to realize that they're doing these things to them, then they deserve to have them done to them. So that's the Lutherian globalists. Now, the question I would have is, are all these the same entities? Are we talking about the same thing? Because it all adds up. It could be. It could be. But I just fascinated by that with Endon Clark there, talking about his link into Drunvalo and Drunvalo's experience there, which really triggered a lot of an additional interest in me. So actually, I'll carry on while I'm at that, because it triggered me into getting this book, which this is the first one that's arrived. The other one actually arrives at probably a few moments ago, because I just heard Nala the dog barking in the background, and she does that whenever there's a delivery. I think that will be the volume 1 to this volume 2. And there are fascinating books out there. And, you know, I'm going to come back to this in a second. But Jolé, would you care to add something to this particular dialogue?
No, I think you summed it up nicely, John. Let's keep moving.
Okay, we got it. Let's carry on to this next shortish section.
After she told me about her dad's story, I just sat there floored, realizing that I could be one of these souls. For the next couple of months, I dove headfirst down the rabbit hole researching walk-ins. I looked into the International Walk-In Society, the different types of reported walk-ins, and all the historical threads throughout many different religions and records about walk-ins. I was astonished to realize that this was not a new thing. It has been happening on our planet for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to pause at that point is that even though this will be a new introduction to the concept of walk-ins for many people, as it was for me a couple of years ago when I first picked up Sheila's book, this is something that is documented across, you know, vast amounts of ancient texts. This is not a new thing. And when you do understand the cosmology of the soul, the way that things operate, then you start to get the joke about the fact is, you know, we are individuated expressions of a single consciousness, but here in this particular meat suit of life, right? We are not the physical body. You know, to think that we are the physical body is like driving your car and believing you are the car. We are an expression of conscious, divine consciousness that is here in this suit, if you like, for a lifetime. And it's brilliant. I mean, the fact that we're here is a miracle in itself. And we're here at a time of this huge transition. So it's fantastic. Now, one of the points that I put for the invitation was about Drunvalo and asking the question about what is the Serpent of Light. Now, I'm going to cover that in future weeks in a little bit more detail because I have the book. Yeah, I am yet to read it. So I have got an awful lot of reading to do because I've got another 2 books beyond that. But I just feel that what Drunvalo is all about is something really a bit special. And there's a number of little synchronicities that have kicked in during this as well. The Melchizedek name is something that kind of rang a bell with me. And then when I was talking to Jolé about this in the week, she said, well, yeah. She said there's that ancient order, and she gave me a little bit of a background story. And I thought, hang on a second, that sounds familiar. And sure enough, when I checked back, I realized that Soaring Eagle, who was the fella whose house I stayed in at my time in Sedona earlier this month, he was the man who created this beautiful hat for me, because he had one just like it. Quartz rimmed hat. So a beautiful energy that you get from this. So thank you, Soaring Eagle. Thank you for this. And yeah, he even gave me my name of Brit Eagle. So here I am, Brit Eagle. As well as a Native American holy man, we have Soaring Eagle is also a priest in the Holy Order of Melchizedek. So, you know, these things just keep coming back at me. So that's what really prompted my interest in to dig deeper, find out more about it. So, yeah. Okay. So, Jolé, can I bring you in for anything you want to add?
Yes, isn't it fascinating? Because we were talking about this earlier, how when you think about the walk-ins that you've been talking about, there is a way in which people are like, I don't want anybody walking into me, right? But what you can do is you have a higher self, and your higher self is like a sentinel. So any energies or entities that want to speak with you, you be like, my higher self, give it to my higher self, and my higher self will then give me the messages. But you stay out of my aura layer. You have the right to do that. And that is a way in which you can say, I'm open and I'd like for you to communicate with me, but the higher self is how you will do that. Stay out of my energy field. Because sometimes with people like Sheila Seppi, it's a gift But there are also malevolent energies out there that say, hey, it's like a moth to a flame because you're a bright light. So really learn about how to, control your energy. But then that brings us to, or influence it, not control it. That times you got to kind of take your hands off the wheel. Because, John, we talked about this. There's predestination. And then you hear all this, you can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can work hard. And you're like, well, is it predestination or is it I can do what I want to do? But I worked out that predestination is a perversion of your ability to let go, because what happens is we're frequencies, we're energies, we're vibrations. So if you believe in God and Mother Earth and all of these things, you will allow for your intuition to lead and to guide you to your matching alignment, frequency, and vibration. And that's why we see all our peers, they do geographic things. They move from one mate to the other, one job to the other, because what they're trying to do is find where they belong, their frequency, their vibration. But oftentimes we're trying to force it. So I just say that when you listen to these walk-ins or you hear about this energy, all we're saying is allow for your intuition to guide you. You don't necessarily have to open up for something to walk in you and then do what it does. But there's levels to this. And one level is you allowing for your intuition to tap in to the energy that is within Mother Earth to guide you. And that's just what I like to lay on the table.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's a really relevant point there, actually, Jolé, because people get worried about possession, right? Possession, right? So you get the darker entities who can come in, and it can happen. I mean, this fantastical though all these things seem, these things do happen, and I know, Jolé, absolutely, you're spot on. And I know, again, with Avine, that's one of the things she does. And I know other people within our elevated planet environment also help with the clearing of these entities as well. But
yes,
with walk-ins, what they're a pre-soul agreement. So there is never a takeover that isn't pre-agreed. And sometimes it's even having read the book, it's even pre-agreed pre-birth that at some point this exchange will happen, because the souls are linked together. There has to be a frequency match between the incoming soul and the outgoing soul. There has to be sort of a pre-known kind of status within that. So yeah,
and that's the key, right? Because there's a match in frequency, energy, and vibration.
Spot on. That's it. Think we've nailed it. Now we know everything on this, but no. But what we are going to do now is we are going to take the next little section, which is where Sheila herself starts to step back into the fray. So bear with me a second. We are going to go to Sheila.
The 2 years leading up to the writing of this book were filled with longing to connect with my own kind. Having now met other people who have had a variety of walk-in experiences, I wanted to know what they remembered and how they had integrated into this dimension. Hearing their stories served as confirmation and validation for me. One of the confirmations and validations that I received is that yes, walk-ins are from off-planet. When this truth first began to make itself known to me, I had difficulty accepting it, because that meant that I too came from off-planet, a thought that should have resonated easily but didn't. I had dreams, visions, and meditations where I was aboard spacecraft speaking with other beings. In one meditation, I was told that I was Arcturian, a word I had never heard of, and had to research its meaning. In another meditation, I received spiritual gifts from the mantis beings. I felt only love in its presence. I didn't know why, initially, this was such a struggle for me to accept. After all, my parents have always believed in and talked about UFOs and the off-planet beings that piloted them, but there was no evidence or proof. One would think that it should have been easy to accept myself as Arcturian, having grown up with these stories throughout my family. Now that I have integrated, I am happy to share about my off-planet ancestry.
I relish the family stories, and they have spurred a new excitement to begin to speak with the rest of the family to see if they have any stories that they would like to share. Another confirmation/validation that I received from writing this book is that nothing happens by accident. The universe has put amazing people in front of me, people who needed to be a part of this book, people who needed to tell their stories and to share with the world that we are not alone. We are all connected. We are all one. I am now inspired more than ever to tell my story, to share the truth of who I am, and that we are part of each other. I am encouraged to learn everything I can about the collective consciousness. I want to study more about ley lines, vortices, and gridding. I want to visit power places around the world and breathe in their energy.
This time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep this here because I want to actually put this little section back on again. What I find really interesting is that the work that's been done in recent times, it seems that whichever direction we go in, we're coming back down to ley lines, vortices, and grids. And certainly something that is the Drunvalo's work. We're going to really crack that open in the next few weeks as we uncover his work, because he does deal a lot with the idea of ley lines, earth energy lines, the vortices at the nodal points, and sacred sights, and using the power of collective consciousness. Now, also Rory Duff, that I was there last a week, 8 days ago, had a workshop with Rory. And again, all these things is exactly what he's doing. He's pulling people together to create groups to go to all these different nodal points, to these sacred sites, where the powers, the high frequency energy of love, of connectedness, and everything that goes into it, at these nodal points, it actually accelerates that energy. It actually makes it so much more powerful. And Drunvalo and many indigenous folks that he's worked with in South America, in North America, and elsewhere around the world also are very aware of this energy and how this operates. And certainly the Serpent of Light is very much about how they came together under collective consciousness circumstances to actually bring about the new era that we are now being guided into. So I think there's a lot of really interesting work here. But it's taking us to this idea of heart-based consciousness, oneness consciousness, Christ consciousness, and it's all the same. And, this is the point. We are souls having a human experience after we put on our biochemical garment, as Einstein put it. But yeah, and as I put it earlier, we're individuated expressions of a single consciousness. But it's getting that through our minds, because we're individuated expressions who, because of the veil of forgetfulness, we get to forget the fact that we are part of a single consciousness. But the whole idea is during this lifetime is that we wake up to this, and that we realize that we are way more powerful than we've been told And also, we're told that we have to rely on others to, provide our world around us and to, give away our power. That time is now changing, and that's why it's exciting to be here at this time. That's why, we can truly embrace this opportunity to be on the planet, regardless of what density you may see coming through on the mainstream media, and beyond. So, yeah, I think that's all I was going to say on that particular point. But Jolé, what would you care to add?
And look at that. It's beautiful. You can see that there is a map, or like something that's already there. And so if Mother Earth has that, and it seems like we have that too, right? So to imagine ourselves being able to sync up or get in alignment with Mother Earth, that is why we're here. And that's really what the journey is all about. So I really encourage all of us to really start to listen to that internal voice within you, and to see yourself through your own eyes and through the voices, or the voice, hopefully, that comes through you, that loves you, and know that you belong here, because you're a match for this this energy, this vibration of Mother Earth. So let's let go of some of this doubt and this fear that we have around who we are and start learning how to sync up with our environment and Mother Earth and all of this positive energy around us.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. And doubt and fear, as you put it there, Jolé, are two of the biggest challenges that we have, I think, in this as within our individuated expression, because that again is what we're encouraged into, because fear means we do give away our power, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Mother Earth, if you look at that, that's like a net. It's like she has your back. You know, this energy has your back, supports you. So like I said before, learn a skill set that allows for you to let go in a way that gives you guidance and control. I mean, that sounds like an oxymoron or the opposites or whatever, but what I'm saying is this is a net. Mother Earth, she's got you, you know, she's got us. So let's really engage our faith and belief in ways that support our positive development.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Jolé. That is perfect to take us on to our next little section from Sheila.
I am also inspired to share more about learning to live from a place of heart, not head. When we overthink, our minds seem to create drama that doesn't exist. We become anxious. We worry and can't sleep. Our endocrine systems begin to respond by adding pounds to our frames, and overall we feel yucky. But when we drop into our heart space, we operate with a clear mind and a balanced persona. When we are able to step into our true natures, we begin to extend love to all those around. Most importantly, we remember that we are souls having a human experience, not a human with a soul. There is a big difference. We are souls that are here to experience, to operate from a place of heart, to laugh, dance, and act silly, to drink a little wine, feel the sun on our face, and gaze up in the night sky in wonderment. To remember who we are and live from our heart space is a sacred gift. If we can learn to operate from this place of heart, then the world will change because we will become love. We will not worry about who said what about whom. We will not care what others think of us because we know this is all temporary. We will know that we are souls and live from that place. The sad truth is that people still believe they are only humans. They get caught up in the must have, must do, must achieve mentality. Possessions mean nothing, really. We also are not our jobs, our titles, our homes, our relationships, our cars, our money, or the lack thereof. These things will pass. If we can remember that we are divine sparks of source, and our only purpose is to remember who we are and experience for source's evolution, then that is when we will find true happiness. We are just along for the ride, so why worry? What does it really matter?
So again, that just talk briefly on that. That again brings us back to that section which is about heart-based consciousness, you know, which is also called Christ consciousness. And I love the fact that we're, you know, as she says, we are souls having a human experience. And it was Einstein who regarded these bodies that we inhabit as biochemical garments that we put on for this lifetime. And you know, that's the way I look at it as well. Our physical body is just our vehicle for this life. Now, it's I love the fact that we have this physical reality. But again, as Einstein said, all that physicality is it's when the vibration slows down to such a point where it becomes solid. And it's easy to kind of get your head around that as well, because we've only got to think of water, right? Now, water, H2O, can be a gas. We know that, you know, at a certain temperature, it will just become a gas. It can become water naturally, which means that it then is it is a liquid form, or it can become solid at a certain temperature. So there you have three expressions of that particular kind of, vibration. The slower it goes, the more solid it becomes. So we're kind of a different version of that. We're sort of like just energy slowed down to that level where we become physical. But it's not who we are. That's just the physical body. The us that say when we die, and again, as always, it goes with the elevated planet money back guarantee. The death process is the most magnificent process you will ever go through in your life, because it's the release of the physical body. It's when you go back over to the other side, and it is a most incredible experience. So money back guarantee, it's going to happen that way. But for now, we have the physical body, and we have this adventure, this game of life for us to work through. And now consciousness is starting to open up. People are now starting to realize, or to remember, because we knew this when we came in. Veil of forgetfulness descends, and all of a sudden we've forgotten everything we ever knew as these immortal souls having a human, immortal souls. We're now having the human experience. Therefore, we don't remember until we do. But there's more and more people coming online now, and more people realizing that this is the way it is. That veil of forgetfulness does leave us vulnerable to when we're fed deliberately distorted programming that enslaves the many to the few, is the way that I would put it, which again brings us back to what we were talking about earlier with this, the dark forces trying to seize control of our dimension. And I think to a large extent they have succeeded over many thousands of years, to a point where we don't even realize it, because this has been life, right? We've been educated in this system. We've been encouraged through this system. We've been kept so busy that we never get time to actually take a step back and realize, actually, we're much bigger than this. We're much more powerful than this. So this age of enlightenment is one which really, really helps to make it all worthwhile, right? I mean, honestly, this is just so exciting, and it's so wonderful. So, Jolé, what would you like to add?
I just want to encourage our friends, like to reach for it and to remember that, you can light a match in a pitch black room and see everything, not the details, but you can see where you're going, right? So the light that's within you is enough. You are enough. You just reach for it. You're struggling, say, you know what? I want this. And, of course, Mother Earth, we are, even though we're in this biochemical sheath, as Einstein put it, I don't have it quite right, but at the same time, what powers it is so powerful. So if you can just continue to shine your light in the darkness and reach for what you want, believe and not give up hope, your heart will then engage the mind, and the mind, or the brain, and the brain can put you, power up. You have to look at it like that. So now your frequency and vibration is starting to hum. And so Mother Earth's going to lead and guide you, the creator. So it's like, if we can just get into the science of it and understand that there's a science behind our positive thoughts, there's a science behind us reaching our goals. We tap into that, allow the left brain to relax, so that then our intuition can lead and guide us. So I really would also encourage people to dig a little bit deeper into some of these concepts, so that you can really understand the science behind your spirituality, so then you can integrate, let go, and some of the traumas can resolve themselves. I hope that you understood that.
Yeah, no, great. That was great. And I do love the fact that Sheila said that with more focus, we will become love, right? That higher vibrational outcome. And that's where we're heading. We're heading to a world of unspeakable beauty, and it's gonna all be ours. But let us go into the next section. The power of the word is where this ultimately finishes up, and it is quite beautiful. So bear with me a second again.
I look at the times we are in now, and I see a direct correlation to the phases of the transformation I went through. Just as I was sick, our world is sick. Just as I felt like I was going crazy, the world, for most, feels like it is going crazy. Economically, politically, socially, ecologically, and spiritually. Just as I dropped into acknowledgement of my situation accepting, and then created a new, healthier reality for myself, the world is going to have to do the same. We are living in times when our world is experiencing turmoil, and it is this turmoil that gives me hope. Hope that we, humanity, are on the cusp of shifting our consciousness to a higher level and are beginning to create a new earth. An earth where prejudice does not exist, where sickness is met with love and compassion, without forcing people to become sheep and just do what we are told, such as take medicines that are not good for our bodies. An earth that operates from a place of soul and heart, not from the me, more mentality. If I can shift my entire paradigm, you can too. If enough of us shift, then the world changes. May this planet experience the shift that I did. I leave you with a Navajo traditional prayer and the words of Chief Seattle, who said, "This we know, the earth does not belong to man, man belongs to the earth. All things are connected like the blood that unites us all. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself." On the final page, I added the poem Walking in Beauty to leave each of you with a prayer and blessing to send you off on your own journey. It is a Navajo Diné traditional closing prayer and blessing. Walking in Beauty. Today I will walk out. Today everything unnecessary will leave me. I will be as I was before. I will have a cool breeze over my body. I will have a light body. I will be happy forever. Nothing will hinder me. I walk with beauty before me. I walk with beauty behind me. I walk with beauty below me. I walk with beauty above me. I walk with beauty around me. My words will be beautiful. In beauty all day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty below me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, lively may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, living again may I walk. My words will be beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay, we've got one little section left after this, but I want to just come back briefly just to, say this is where we are focusing on the power of the word now, because something that Sheila puts across so beautifully there from the Navajo, whether it's from the Chief Seattle or the Walking in Beauty poetry, which again, it comes back to, I look at the wisdom of the ancients. It's the native, it's the indigenous people who have retained wisdom that so many of us in the Western world have lost. And I really, truly believe it is to that wisdom to which we will return once we can get away from some of the distractions that are forced upon us, and, have become part of life. So, yeah, but power of the word is important. And I know it's something that Jolé wanted to focus upon as well. And I presume there's going to be some of that within the meditation as well. So Jolé, what do you think?
Absolutely. Especially as a theta healer, I know that language is huge. And sometimes, we all have this experience where someone has explained a concept that we don't understand in a way, and they've used certain language, and it's like, ding, we light up, right? So it's the same thing in our lives. Look for language that is going to fill you up, that is going to light you up, instead of moving towards language, because we see it all around us. Like, we have a bunch of, like you say, John, Luciferian globalists who understand these concepts of energy, vibration, frequency, language, and they're using it on us 24/7. You're watching the news, and behind the newscaster, can we call them journalists? Maybe, is something that's going around in a circle, or something that's moving back and forth across your screen at the same time that this person is talking to you. Something's going like this or going like this. And so, you know what I mean? They know what they're doing, but you can imagine from birth, you have been given this. You're sent to a school that's giving you a certain language. All of this stuff is called spells, right? Because you put language together a certain way, you're spelling. It's there for you. So why don't you start using their little games for your own benefit? Learning how to speak to yourself and others to open the door and do magic for wellness, abundance, to help be of service. These are the things you have the power to do. So John and I are just here to help you wake up to understanding that it's there for you. Unspeakable Beauty is an eyelash away. So let's do this.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you, Jolé. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the last little section, which is also on the power of the word, but from a slightly different angle, from the angle of human futurology, by Chris Stiles, who is a genius at doing what he does in terms of breaking everything down into mathematical sequences, whether it's individual life paths or even the language itself. So I'll apologize in advance because the audio on this came from TikTok. It's not as powerful as the audio we've been listening to. So just be mindful, there'll be a little bit of background noise, but you'll still be able to make this out. Bear with me a second.
Here's a really fun thing to do with numbers and letters, which will get you thinking differently about what you're saying, the words that are coming out your mouth, and the construct of your sentences. So if you just take the alphabet and you write the letters of the alphabet down from A to Z, and then you populate underneath each letter with a number from 1 through to 26, then you start to begin to put words together. And if you're interested in self-development, and if you're interested in metaphysics, and if you are interested in manifestation, and if you're interested in the deeper consciousness behind things, start to write down a word and then populate the letters of each word with the numbers and add up the numbers and see what they come to. And then start doing research around those numbers. Now, let me give you an example. You'll notice that in the world of manifestation, for example, especially the law of attraction, they're always talking about I am. So let's just take that one notch higher. And let's move beyond I am to I love. Let me build a sentence for you. I love what I am doing. I love my work, etc., etc. So the two words that are defining the sentence, the opening salvo, if you will, of what it is that you're saying, are I love. So you write down I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. You write down L, 12, O, 15, V, 22, E, 5. You add it up, what do you get? 63. Now, how interesting is that? So then you start doing your research around the number 63. And the number 63 is the number of spiritual or higher purpose. So when you say, I love, or that is how you feel about what you are doing, it means that what you are doing in that moment in time, or what you are saying about what you are doing, is perfectly aligned at the very highest level to your higher purpose, your higher calling. This is why whatever you love is revealing a huge amount about who and what you are in terms of your authentic self. So just think about the fact that what you are saying in the way of words, what is echoing out, is powerful. It is creating. This should really make you think about what it is that you are saying in terms of I love.
Yeah, so Chris, good friend of Elevated Planet, he's helped us a lot, and he is very wise. So with Chris, he also shared with me after that that I hate. He did the numerology or the futurology on the mathematical blueprinting on the phrase "I hate," and that means basically that you are still seeking. So the I love is effectively arriving. The I hate means that you're not there yet. But Jolé, can I bring you in to talk a little bit about this and maybe lead us into the meditation?
Yes, so that's beautiful, especially with what we know about energy, frequency, and vibration, right? I keep talking about that because it's so important. And we don't think about that. We just think about the density that we are inhabiting instead of realizing that there's a whole other part of us that exists that makes magic in a positive way, that can create synergy in a way that moves us forward. And so today I want to, thanks to John, he revealed to me another aspect of our energy field from taking classes with Nigel. Is that his name?
No, it's Rory Duff.
Sorry, Rory Duff. And he's got what's called, or he brought to John's attention, what's called a toroidal field, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So can you go into a little bit about that? Because I'd like to do a meditation that is going to open up our toroidal field and align us with Mother Earth's ley lines. So give us a little bit more about it.
Right. So let me just share this particular picture here. This is the toroidal field of two people, and basically what it relates to is the electromagnetic frequency that emanates from the heart, which is by far the most powerful part of our body. It's I forget now. It's a multiple of, I believe, well, significantly higher than the brain, because we always assume that the brain is the point where we find all our wisdom. The reality is that no, the wisdom, really, our motherboard is the heart, and that is from where we get this electromagnetic field, because we're effectively just giant magnets, because every cell in our body, I think, carries 0.07% charge, and we have 50 trillion of them. So I don't know what that relates to. It's maybe 70 million volts. Be careful not to tell the national grid that, because they'll want to put a plug in you somewhere. But this is kind of what's happening. We have this invisible energetic field around us. And also, when that aligns with the vortices that Rory Duff talks about, for instance, which also carry similar kinds of energy, but much more powerful, because this is Mother Earth's energy. So once you align your vortex with the vortex and the toroidal field of the Earth, then that massively accelerates the energies that are being put into it. So when you're going in there with high frequency energies of love and joy and compassion and kindness, those energies go an awful long way. And when you've got multiple people doing it as a collective consciousness exercise, that becomes super powerful. So I'll stop sharing that. Right, sorry, I'm going to let you work your magic now, Jolé. Off you go.
So as always, while we're getting ready, put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. Please close your eyes, bring your awareness to your chest, and begin to breathe with the rhythm of your body. Once you relax into your energy and wiggle your toes and move your feet and feel your calves, your knees, your thighs, bringing all parts of you, the stomach, the chest, shoulders, arms, elbows, hands, neck, head, every hair on your body into the present moment. We're going to command that our heartbeat sync up with our breath and turn every cell of our body heart-shaped and into a loving vibration. As this energy moves out from our heart and into our aura layer and out into our environment, we open our feet, the bottoms of our feet, like we would the lens of a camera, while simultaneously creating a grounding cord that is connected to our first chakra and 6 inches in diameter, unraveling that and allow for that to travel down through our chair or whatever we're sitting or laying on and down into the core of Mother Earth. And this grounding cord is of a natural earth element. So while this grounding cord is doing what it does and has its marching orders to root itself into the core of Mother Earth, we're going to call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you to pool in the bottoms of our feet and start to travel up the side channels of our legs. As we then call our higher self to sit at a comfortable distance above our head, snap our astral body in, and command that our aura layer be 1.5 feet around us. So we breathe with the rhythm of our body. Our energy is now grounded, and we're calling in golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to blanket themselves on the inside and the outside of our grounding cord, cleaning off anybody else's energy, anything we're ready to let go of and release, any problems with our DNA, our genes, our ancestral energy. We're wiping it away to bring our grounding cord into the present moment. So while this is happening, and that energy from Earth, Mother Earth, is going up the side channels of our legs, our aura layer is where it needs to be, our astral body is snapped in, and our higher self is above our head, we open our crown like we would the lens of a camera and command 85% cosmic gold life force energy to cascade down. It comes down, rains down on the higher self, and then it begins to come into our cranium. I mean, just saturating all of our brain cells, all of the cells in our cranium, our brain, our mind, with positive energy, moving out and down any BS, anything that no longer serves us, anything we're ready to let go of, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, they are being evaporated and replaced with all of the things that serve us, as that energy then focuses itself down our spine, lighting up each vertebra, mixing in with the energy from the earth, and then it begins to fill us up like water fills up a cup. So all of this positive energy and these loving cells are working together, Mother Earth, us, the Creator, cosmic life force energy, filling us up like water fills up a cup, populating our cells with the positive possibilities of optimal wellness, financial prosperity, wealth, service, love, as well as interconnectedness in the highest and best way, and removing the struggle, the disease, and the illness. Letting Mother Earth has that as she knows how to process and recycle it. Let it go. Bring in positive energy, strong faith and belief in self and in Mother Earth and God's ability to lead you in the right direction. And now as this energy, this 15% earth energy, this 85% cosmic gold meets, we flip on the switch of our toroidal field. And now this liquid begins to light up our own personal ley lines, turning us on our electromagnetic field and locking it in with our aura layer, our higher self, our astral body, our grounding cord, as well as our meat bag. All of this now is turned on electromagnetically. We are starting to click with our own energy as these loving cells begin to populate our ley lines, going in, filling up the space within the space, as Joe Dispenza would say. And these ley lines are lighting up and magnetizing us and empowering our frequency, our vibration, harmonizing our rhythm. And now, that part of Mother Earth where we belong, the people we belong to, we are becoming magnetized to them, to it. All the pieces and parts of us spiritually, our soul architecture, are waking up and locking in with our highest and best. So sit there and breathe with the rhythm of your body as your heart syncs up with your brain and your whole architecture lights up and your toroidal field begins to pump and harmonize and send out those vibrations, aligning you and integrating you with Mother Earth and all of the positive energy she has to give you, all the messages of the divine coming in. You're lit up, you're awake, And now you can use this energy to enlighten your intuition, to guide you. Feel that, hold this space for all these pieces and parts of you to work together. And your higher self is the captain at the helm and knows how to use this energy for your highest good and the good of your environment. So take a deep breath in, exhale, and see all of this, feel all of this, hear all of this. Whatever that works for you, you are grounded and rooted into Mother Earth. Put a golden sun above your head, bring it down, and allow for those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to fall away as that gold light populates that grounding cord all the way down. Bring in some more golden suns. Let it fill up the first chakra. Let it fill up the second chakra, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, all the way up, filling up your energy, populating that toroidal field, that aura layer. That higher self has got its marching orders, the grounding cord, all of you now. You're full, you're whole, you're plugged in, and you're one with the universe. Take a deep breath in, exhale. And when you're ready, close your feet chakras like you would the lens of a camera and stop running energy. Close your hands if they were open and your crown like the lens of a camera. And stay lit up. Take a deep breath in and let that earth energy and that cosmic divine golden life force energy settle within your energy field and harmonize. And make sure you know that on the back of you, you're totally protected. And all of that energy is bright back there. And now I want you to cover your toroidal field, your aura layer, with roses, protecting you from all of the slime that's out there, because you're a bright light now. So people might throw their energy on you. So let's just protect ourselves and our beautiful energy by covering ourselves with roses. Take another deep breath in, exhale. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. I would just say, now that you know you have a grounding cord, an aura layer, a higher self, an astral body, and a toroidal field, that is your electromagnetic energy. Now it's up to you to guide that. Like, you are in control of how you harmonize with your environment by now tapping into your electromagnetic energy. So take advantage of that. You have the key.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I think that we're going to dig deeper and deeper into this over the next few weeks, a couple of months, as well as covering off things like, the 12 universal laws. It's going to be exciting, but this is the journey that we're on, really. It's really starting to dig deeper into this. And, it just seems that as we take one step forward, the path opens up in front of us. So I get the impression we're doing it right, but we will see how this all unfolds. Just to say, the newsletter goes out tomorrow. I've also attached a piece of Stephen Greer's work as well, which is free to view on Rumble. It's the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. So when we're looking at this stuff like walk-ins, which kind of is like the off-planet perspective, it's good to be able to understand what has been known on our planet already, yet has been hidden from us. Because this is all part of the era that we're in. This is the era where truths come to the surface. So let's embrace them. Let's not be fearful of them. Let's see them as the opportunity to step towards our world of unspeakable beauty. So, these are exciting times. We knew what we signed up for when we came here to humanity this time around. And it's a great honor to be here. And, pulling together that collective power, a world of unspeakable beauty awaits. So I got one last thing to share, and then I'm handing over to you, Jolé, just to say a final piece here. But I just wanted to do this quote here from Albert Einstein, who said, "Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics." Thank you, Albert.
Yes. That was beautiful, and I think we should end it right there. I'm so humble and grateful, as I know you are, John, to be doing this work. And although we are practitioners of spirituality and we want to awaken people and help them remember, there are people out there who are doctors, who are lawyers, who are working in financial industries, who are doing this great work of liberating us. So we ask that you reach out and support them as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Jolé. And thank you very much, as always, to our community. Newsletter goes out tomorrow. And as ever, just if you ever have any questions, just send me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, and I guarantee we will come back to you. And we look forward to communicating with you. So till next week, we will say farewell for now. Thank you again, Jolé.
Thank you.
And thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you to everybody.